But, Mark, let's close out the podcast making our picks. And I'll be honest, our records are going to be completely fudged up the rest of the year, mainly because with you not being on the podcast and real life kind of taking its toll, I am going to have 2 weeks of picks on you that you will not have because you have not made picks since week, what would that be?
I did not make 2 weeks ago.
So what, week 5?
Sure.
Week 5, because this is going to be week 8. So your picks, your record is a whopping 41, 35, and 2.
Good stuff, man.
Mine, I got to put myself green for that Monday night game. So out of 14 games, I had 4 wrong. So I went 10-4 on the week. Probably should have done this before the podcast, but who cares? That means I am at a 64 wins. I am at 41 wrong and 2 ties. Yeah,
nice
that's how that would work.
2 ties. That's good stuff.
How we do this, if you're new, is we go through every game of the week. We pick our winner, give a little bit on it if we have anything to say about it, and then we go on our merry way. The first game, Thursday night.
Yep.
We've got the Dolphins. We've got the Texans. What are you thinking about for this one?
Texans are kind of getting it together now. They're kind of bringing it back.
I mean, they got an injury. Their wide receiver, Kiki Cutie, is not going to be playing for this one.
Not
The injury that he had on Sunday is going to keep him out for this Thursday game.
Yeah, I just think the Houston Texans are kind of starting to get the groove a little bit. And not that the Miami Dolphins are falling apart or anything like that, but I'm going to give this one to the Texans.
I am going to... This is one that's weird because I have rode with the Dolphins, let's see, 2 straight weeks, and they won, and then they lost. I rode with them 3 straight weeks, and they're 2-1. You know what? I'm going to ride with the Texans. And the reason why is blatantly, it's just a blatant, besides that Bears game, the Dolphins were this close to being 0-3, and I've picked them the last 3 weeks, which is funny because every single time on a picks video, we'll get a comment that goes, no respect for the Dolphins. And I'll be like, I picked the Dolphins. Rodney, I picked the Dolphins. You don't have to do the whole, we get no respect. No, I picked you for 3 straight weeks. This is now the first week that I am not picking you for a Thursday night game.
No respect.
Then we get into the Sunday games. The first one, your Chicago Bears playing host to the New York Football Jets. Yep. What are you thinking about for this one?
Quite the team names. Quite long.
Your Bears and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Bears are gonna win it. I mean, it's pretty easy. Yeah, it's that simple for me. Bears win.
This is one where I will say, in our personal fantasy league, I am finally going in. With the last 3 weeks, I've thought about playing Mitch Trubisky. Really, the last 2. It was after that 30-some performance that he had. I've thought about playing Mitch, but just haven't been sold that he'd be able to keep it up. Expect this week Mitch to play terribly because I actually started him or will be starting him in our fantasy league. So now that he's starting, he's basically going to be amazing. Shit the bed for me. But I will pick the Bears to beat the Jets in Chicago. Then we got a fun one. This is a London game. The Jaguars could be the next or the first London team in the NFL. They will be there playing the Eagles. I am going to go with the Eagles in this one. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. The Jaguars got to figure out this whole quarterback thing. Their defense seems like they are very unhappy, and maybe Jalen Ramsey's going to get himself traded at the trade deadline because he can't keep his mouth shut.
I love Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, I do too.
I love players. Oh, it's hit or miss because sometimes I hate them, but I usually love players, unless they're on my team, that will speak the truth and call people out. Because your team doesn't get better.
Although the one thing I will say, I forgot who it was on the Texans who afterward was like, I'm confused. What's Jalen Ramsey's record against us? And then when he was leaving, 2-7.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not the truth all the time, Jalen. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, there's no reason why I'm going to pick against the Philadelphia Eagles on this one.
If Blake Bortles was playing like Blake Bortles last year,
which was not very good most of the time.
I mean, it was better than usual, Blake Bortles. Like last year,
still not very good.
Last year was like, oh wow, Blake Bortles, this is the best year that we've seen out of him. Or if he played like he did in the Patriot game earlier this year.
Yeah.
He played in that game. It's like, holy crap, are we going to get to see? No,
we're not.
We don't see that, Blake Bortles. An interesting one that I say interesting because the Bengals should be able to bounce back in this one. It's funny. The Bengals got to 4 wins, the projected win total that I said they were going to do, and now they have lost. So they are staying pat at that win total. However, I will be the first one to say they are going to surpass my projected win total of 4 this week.
Good.
As the Bengals will get the win over Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston had no business winning that game last week against the Browns. No business. How do you hold the ball for that long and get sacked for, what was it, a 15-yard sack? And it was then, 2nd and 22? How do you do that? Like, even the announcer was like, Jameis, you've been in the league so long, you got to realize you can't do that. He had no business winning that game. Baker should have won.
Should have went to one side of the field, spin around, go all the way to the other side of the field, and walk into the end zone.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually in this room the one who believed in
Jameis?
That originally in the draft.
And the Bengals.
But in the Bengals for this year. But part of me kind of wants to pick the Bengals to get this, or I'm sorry, pick the Buccaneers to get this one. So I think I'm going to go with it. Jameis, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things about the Bengals I like a little bit better, but there's just something about those Buccaneers that can pull out a win.
And then a game that could matter in the playoff seedings if these teams kind of go on a run. 3-3 Seahawks, who the Legion of Boom is officially dead, going into Detroit Rock City to play the Detroit Lions. Who you got, darker blue or lighter blue?
I'm going to go with some nice blue with some green, and I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks on this one. Even though, yes, the Legion of Boom is dead, but Russell Wilson doesn't care. He wants to lead this team to victory, so I'll believe in you, Russell.
This one's a hard one for me because if you look at the first 2 games, the Seahawks weren't good. Now they're 3-1 in their last 4. You look at Detroit, they are also 3-1 in their last 4, and they've got wins over the Packers. They've got wins over the Patriots. I'm actually going to go
starting to kind of get their groove with the new coach.
I'm going to go with the Lions in this one, and the reason why is because every home game except that first one against the Jets, wins over the Patriot, wins over the Packers. You look at the road games for the Seahawks, the only team they've beaten on the road, the Cardinals, and it was by 3. So, I mean, you lose to the Bears, you lose to the Broncos on the road. This one in Detroit, I'm going to play the home favorite and go with the Lions to get the win over the Seahawks. Then the next 2 should be easy ones, but I'll ask you anyways. First off, Broncos and Chiefs in Arrowhead, KC all the way.
Yep.
And then the next one, Redskins in the Meadowlands to play the Giants. I'm going with the Redskins only because I haven't liked what I saw from the Giants so far.
And you shouldn't. I mean, there's no reason to like anything you've seen out of the Giants. I love the little clip you played for me on Twitter of Eli going, I'm not blocking.
Basically, yeah, fuck that.
Saquon,
I get hit enough.
Break some tackles, man.
Yeah, I get hit enough. I don't want to blatantly throw myself in
They get back into the huddle, and Eli goes, hey, break some tackles, Rook. But anyways, I got to go with the Washington Redskins on that one.
And then the next one. The last time these 2 teams played this year, it ended in a tie. Do the Browns and the Steelers tie again?
I hope so.
Do they tie again?
This
time with Baker.
This one, I think, is a revenge game, obviously, for both of these teams. But this one's a revenge game in the embarrassment factor of I'm going to go ahead and pick the Steelers to win this one.
Okay.
Because I think they were embarrassed because a tie to the Browns was obviously embarrassing to them. For the Browns, it was like, we're back. We're the real deal.
And he was like, no, we haven't won a game, guys. We haven't won yet.
We got it. Throw the parade. They got to go out there and they have to kind of put the division rival back down and say, we were not supposed to tie. That was a mistake. We should have beat you.
I am going to go on the other side of this one. I am going to go with the Browns. They are going to get their first road game victory. You look at all their other 3 road games. The first one to the Saints. They only lost that game because their kicker, who's not on the team anymore, couldn't kick a field goal. Then you look to the Raiders. The Raiders had no business winning that game. The Browns should have played better in overtime. Let's be honest. The Raiders did have business winning that game. They played good in overtime. But the Browns lost a close one, 45-42, in the away game in Oakland. And then this past week, the game I said Jameis Winston had no business winning, and Baker Mayfield should have gotten that win. I am going to say the Browns get their first road victory of the year against the Steelers this week, and the Steelers look at themselves and go, holy shit, we went 0-1-1 against the Browns this year. It is time to just pack it up and move out of the division because we can't be here anymore.
Switch with the Bears.
We have not won with the Browns this year, so I'm going to go with the Browns to get the win in Pittsburgh. Then an interesting one to me because the Panthers proved me wrong. I said they can't win. I said they can't win on the road. They come back and get the win after I thought they were going to lose. Ravens, they lose a heartbreaker to the Saints last week on a missed extra point by Justin. What wonderful pipes does he have, Tucker? Who are you going with, the Ravens and Harbaugh or Riverboat Ron and the Panthers?
It's a tough one for him because I like to claw up, but I also have the Ravens as a division winner here. And the Carolina Panthers have been doing pretty well this year, sticking right behind the New Orleans Saints. So they need this win because they need to keep doing everything they can to keep in pace with Drew Brees and that Saints team that's rolling. But kind of similar situation for the Ravens if they need to do everything they can to get into this division leader and just lock it up. So I'm actually going to go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens as well. I almost went Panthers because with the Ravens, if you look at it, they're 2-2 on the road. Yes, they've beaten teams like the Steelers and the Titans decisively on the road, but then they go ahead. They lose to the Browns. They lose to the Bengals on the road as well, but those were divisional games. That's what I'm chalking that to. And you look at the Panthers, they've been a team, you look at their home games, yes, they have won, but a 2-point win against the Giants, a 10-point win against the Bengals, a close 16-8 game, a 8-point victory against the Cowboys. I am going to ride with the Ravens to win a close one in Carolina and go to 5-3 on the year. Then we've got a couple of teams that this is going to mean a lot for the draft in a couple of weeks for our mock draft. Which one finishes with the higher pick? The Colts, who are 2-5, looks like they now have a run game, or the Raiders, who are 1-5. They are 1-2 in Oakland.
I got to go with the Colts here. The Raiders want to lose. They want to get the number one pick overall. They want to get everything they can.
God, can you imagine them with like Nick Bosa or Ed Oliver?
It'd be great.
Defense. There's your pass rush.
Yeah, right. You got a pass rush. Hopefully he's healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Andrew Luck in the run game here that maybe they figured out will win the game.
Well, I mean, figured out. Marlon Mack, now he's healthy. That's the big thing, and he really showed up this last week. I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I don't like the Raiders. Their only win on the year was I'm going to call it a fluke win. I'm going to buy into it. Browns should have won that game. Raiders should be 0-6. They're going to fall to 1-6 this week. Then the next game we've got two more late afternoons, a Sunday night and a Monday night. One of the late afternoon ones in L.A. Aaron Rodgers comes to town to play the Rams. Do the Rams stay undefeated?
Oh, this is such a hard one for me. It really is. I'm going to go with the Rams, but if anyone can beat them, it's Aaron Rodgers.
I'm riding with the Rams until they lose. That's what I'm basically going to do. I'm going to ride with them until they lose a game.
And now look
That's
what
I'm
did
doing with the Rams. And then if they go undefeated in the regular season, I'll give them the playoff kiss of death because I'll have to ride with them every game because they had lost, and then they'll be the Super Bowl champion, and then they won't win the Super Bowl. Our last late afternoon one, another draft game, 1-6 49ers, 1-6 Cardinals. Which one will... I mean, it depends on what the Giants do, but we both have the Giants losing. So if the Giants lose, which one will be the second pick in the NFL draft right now?
Yeah, I can't pick the Arizona Cardinals because I just think with Patrick Peterson being like, peace, I'm out of here, there's no way I can pick them. So, no, they're too much dysfunction in that locker room right now.
Do I have to pick a winner in this one?
No, you can pick a tie.
Like,
why not?
That's what I look at. The last time the Cardinals won was against the 49ers. So I'm going to say the Cardinals get the win in this one.
Beautiful.
Like, I'm going to say Cardinals win. This is one where the only team that they can defeat are the 49ers without Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers will be like, cool, we'll take the higher draft pick. Thanks for one of the two best defensive players.
Maybe both teams will just get out there and be like, hey, man, let's just flip that coin and we'll call it a game.
Let's tie 0-0 tie.
No, just flip the coin. Heads, we'll win. Tails, you win. We both go home, eat some ice cream.
The coin toss decides the game. What about the Sunday night one? The Saints return to the scene of the crime to play Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
Yeah, can't wait for this one. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a tough one. I think so much of me wants to pick the Saints, even though I think that this one easily could go to the Vikings, so congratulations. But I'm going to go with the Saints.
Okay, that's what I thought. I locked you in on the Saints.
Yeah.
And when you said, usually when you say, I really want to pick the Saints, I looked at you weird because I was like, Mark, are you going to pick the Vikings?
No, but I do think the Vikings have a good shot of getting this win.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings. I know people are like, well, Mark, you're always going to go with the Bears because you're a Bears fan. I'm always going to go with the Vikings. This is one where I'm going to go with the Vikings. Could I see the Saints coming in and winning? Yes, but I'm expecting a good Sunday night game, and hopefully my Vikes get the win. And don't let the Saints revenge the Minnesota Miracle from a year ago. And then a really stinker of a Monday night game. Patriots get the win over the Bills. All right, good night, everybody.
Yep.
Right? I mean, the Bills starting Derek Anderson because Josh Allen's still going to be hurt. I mean, I have no reason why the Bills should win this one. I'm going with the Pats.
Yep.
Mark's like, that's all I need to do. I'm just going to say a simple yep. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What games are you looking forward to? Who are you winning? Who are you having winning? Who are you having losing? What do you think of our picks? Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. Also, a little housekeeping here at the end. Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. If you want to help us out, if you want to join a podcast, you can help support us at that $10 tier. You can also help support us by getting yourself an MVP t-shirt. Those are down below in the description. You can also get them at mostvaluablepodcast.com, where you can catch MVP each and every day. I want to thank you guys. Oh, forgot iTunes and Apple Podcasts, and I'm going to do the same thing I did on the Primetime Podcast this week. I am going to look to see if the Onside Kick got any new reviews written down on the podcast. We have 13 ratings. The only one we have right now, and I want to see this change by next week, the only one we have is from King B. Lang, where he says, good all-around podcast, would recommend for any fan of football. So I want to see some more ratings on iTunes. Please let us know what you think of the podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. I want to thank you guys for watching us on YouTube. And as always, have a good day, everybody.